Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to HA After Dark. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I want to thank very kind of Chad Davis. Iraq vets love HA, and I love Iraq vets and all veterans and the active duty soldiers who watch. And just thank you so much, Chad Davis, for the kind words. And thank you, everyone. It's the middle of the night, but we have a whole bunch of people watching. We're approaching 100 viewers, and it's just 1 minute in. So if you have insomnia, if you know anyone who has insomnia or can't sleep right now, please tune in, share this segment with them. And what can I tell you? It's going to be a really great, thank you, everyone. It's going to be a really great segment. The Russians didn't infiltrate the NRA, okay? So that's bizarre also. The Second Amendment is what makes this one of the reasons this country is free, autonomous. One of the reasons its citizens are protected not only from dangers within, let's say, a community or some home invasion, but also from a government that could be overreaching. That's what the Second Amendment in many ways is about, ensuring that the government doesn't overstep its boundaries. That's one of the aspects of the Second Amendment. Don't know if Russia would want to promote that. Eric H526, hello, Hal, hello, everyone. Love you all. Have a great weekend. Eric H526, we all love you, and thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words to my super chat. You give me every incentive to keep rocking this. And what can I tell you? So, off the bat, so Democrats, in the most vapid, ridiculous, absurd, transparent attempt at linking Russia and blaming Russia to everything they hate. So they hate the NRA, they hate Trump. Then they're chastising Christian conservatives for still voting for Trump. How many articles do we have to read? Oh my God, how is it that Christian conservatives are voting for Trump? It's always, everything is seen through the lenses of people who want gun control, a liberal president, or a president that destroys Libya like Obama, but says the right things and does the right things on Twitter or whatever. They just want to go ahead and link everything to Russia that they don't like in life. And they're also complaining now that Russia infiltrated some state elections or whatever. They're blaming midterm losses already. They're not going to go ahead and win the House. There's zero momentum. Zero momentum. They're not going to win the House. They're not going to win the Senate. And what's taking place is the slow destruction, not only mentally, but also just in terms of a political party. What does it stand for? The Democratic Party stands for nothing. We have no idea what the Democratic Party stands for other than hating Russia. So right now, it's just basically a money laundering scheme for Bill and Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. So they can go ahead and accept money, and then what a coinky-dink, 20% of U.S. uranium capacity goes to Russia. But oh my God, Maria Butina, the alleged Russian spy, infiltrated the NRA. We're supposed to believe that. Then they don't. Then which is trolling, epic trolling. Trump, rightfully so, invited the second most powerful military in the world and a former Cold War adversary to the White House. Good. Good. Democrats think the whole world should believe that the NSA's moderately confident assessment. So you've heard this now. They're like maniacal. The cult members it's a conclusion from the intelligence agencies. Well, the intelligence community, from the Gulf of Tonkin to WMD to the inability to even forecast the Arab Spring or 9/11 or any cataclysmic change in foreign policy or international relations or whatever. The intelligence community is completely clueless. So let's just really quickly. So Trump inviting Putin to Washington this fall. Oh my God. And you have this like ridiculous intel chiefs shocked. Oh my, really? The intel chiefs? The same intel chiefs who were okay with 20% of U.S. uranium capacity being sold to Putin? Where was Brennan and Mueller? I mean, we have the Mueller probe. The Mueller probe is on now, and Mueller was FBI director, and I explained this in Debunking the Trump-Russia Myth. My books are still being purchased, and I have to go ahead and write book 5. But they're short reads, and they're not long, but they pack a punch, and they give every single thing you need to know to win any argument with deranged, delusional, butthurt clowns, Democrats. Oh, just Snapple. It's just Snapple. Nothing too crazy. But so let's just get to this. So they're really upset. And if you're watching from another country, thank you so very much. I appreciate your support greatly. So Trump inviting Putin to Washington this fall. Good. Excellent. But he hacked the DNC. You're moderately confident of that, and I don't care about your confidence level. I want certainty and I want evidence. Well, CrowdStrike said CrowdStrike was purchased by the DNC and Hillary Clinton. Why should I trust? Why should I trust a firm that was basically purchased by Hillary Clinton? Okay, so outsourced. So let's go ahead. This is CNN. President Trump asked National Security Advisor John Bolton to invite President Putin to Washington in the fall, and those discussions are already underway, Sanders tweeted Thursday. The invitation was extended to Putin by Bolton earlier on Thursday, according to a National Security Council spokesman. The pair of tweets were the latest indication that Trump is doubling down on his Russia rapprochement strategy. Oh my God, he's doubling down on peace? That's crazy. What an insane person he is. Let's vote Democrat. Everybody vote Democrat to ensure we have a war with Russia. So everyone vote Democrat. Because, you know, we need a war. We need another Cold War. One devastating Cold War with Vietnam and everything else, that wasn't enough. We need to suffer because Clinton lost. We're not done mourning as a nation because Clinton lost. Say that again, Coates offers. That's going to be special. The director of National Security, Dan Coates, said he still does not know what Trump and Putin discussed on Monday and was caught off guard during an interview Thursday by news that Trump and, oh my God, White House officials have not explained why Coates was not informed about the invitation. Who cares? The preparation for the second meeting, Trump-Putin meeting, and in Washington, no less. In Washington, no less. Really quickly, all you have to do, it's just, okay, Russia, step, ODNI. Assessing Russian activities and intentions. Just go ahead. You Google Russia, step, ODNI, STEPPE, and background to assessing Russian activities and intentions. You scroll down to Annex B. Page 23, estimate of language consists of 2 elements. Judgments about the likelihood of developments or events occurring and levels of confidence in the sources and analytical reasoning supporting the judgments. Shy. Hey, friend, I'm betting that Putin knows Obama isn't a U.S. citizen. That's why they don't want Trump-Putin relationship. Well, I'll tell you this. Respectfully, I think that Obama is a U.S. citizen, was born in the United States, but I venture to say 100% I agree with you that Not so much on that issue, but that Putin knows a whole lot about what took place with the DNC and the alleged hacking. Shai, thank you as always, Shai. Thank you as always, Shai, for your support of this channel. He probably knows a whole lot. That's why they're trolling everyone. That's why when I mean, you're right about like Putin knowing that, oh, well, you know what? You want people in our country? We want Bill Browder. Oopsie. Another failed attempt by Democrats. Oopsie. But here you go. I mean, I should start this. High confidence generally indicates that judgments are based on high quality information from multiple sources. They only have CrowdStrike. High confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. That's in the Office of Director of National Intelligence report. That's in the Director of National Intelligence report. So James Clapper, in his report that utilized all this information from the FBI, the CIA, and NSA, the best they come up with is high confidence in a judgment does not imply that the assessment is a fact or a certainty. Such judgments might be wrong. So the chart below approximates how judgments of likelihood correlate with percentages. So this is an issue of percentages and confidence levels. Nobody knows anything with certainty regarding whether Russia hacked the DNC to inform the country that Debbie Wasserman Schultz was cheating Bernie Sanders. Why is that always missing? Why is that always missing from whenever people say, well, you know, he hacked, they attacked America. How did they attack America? By letting us know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. How is that even possible? So there you go. And then here, let's just listen. This is my favorite. We're going to get to James Clapper. James Clapper. Chuck Todd. I mean, it's right here.
Does intelligence exist that can definitively answer the following question: whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials?
We did not include any evidence in our report, and I say our, that's NSA, FBI, and CIA with my office, the Director of National Intelligence, that had any reflection of collusion between members of the Trump campaign and the Russians. There was no evidence of that included in our report. Right.
No evidence, yet let's investigate forever. No evidence. No evidence. There's no evidence at all. And let's listen to it again.
Does intelligence exist that can definitively answer the following question: whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials?
We did not include any evidence in our report, and I say our, that's NSA, FBI, and CIA with my office, the Director of National Intelligence, that had any reflection of collusion between members of the Trump campaign and the Russians. There was no evidence of that included in our report.
I understand it, but does it exist?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge.
If it existed, it would have been in this report.
This could have unfolded or become...
How could it have unfolded after the election? The whole point is that the whole point is that the whole point is that What is the point? I have no idea what the point is. The whole point is that there's no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, yet people are explaining or writing. Somebody wrote something funny on the is that you have a face for radio, which I think is, well, really nice compliment. Maria Butina, who sought back channel meeting. A back channel? MJ. Not a back channel. It was a back channel to have Trump get paid on in the Steele dossier and then write a check to Russian hackers to hack the DNC. To hack the DNC to let us know that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Question: if Bernie weren't cheated, would you be so passionate? I'd probably be passionate, perhaps not as passionate. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Thank you. If Bernie weren't cheated, he would have won. He would have won the Democratic nomination, and I believe he would have defeated Trump. I know that people are going to say, "Oh, you're crazy, HA," but you know what? I might be wrong on that account, just because I was envisioning a unified Democratic Party that was sane. And you can disagree with Bernie on a lot of things. You could say that he's not. He's like Warren Buffett to socialists. Really, he wants to break up banks to ensure that we don't bail them out, which is socialism. But you know, this live stream is awesome. This live stream is awesome. But I think that Bernie Sanders being cheated, and more importantly, Bernie Sanders now, pumping the same anti-Russia. I'm like losing respect for Bernie all the time. And I don't understand why he is getting in bed with the people who cheated him. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was in on it. I don't know. I can't even wrap my brain around it. I can't wrap my brain around. It's kind of like I'm realizing, like, well, why is he? I keep on saying, why is he doing this? I'm I'm like a spouse who's like, well, why is my spouse getting texted at 2 in the morning every evening? Why from 12 to 3 in the morning, my spouse has to leave the house? What's up with that? So I have no idea what's going on with Bernie. I have no idea. Before I get to the NRA, I love how they're like Maria Butina, who sought back channel meeting for Trump and Putin, is charged as a Russian agent. First of all, during Obama's administration, there were a number of, let me see. Obama team was warned in 2014 about Russia interference. They did nothing. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. There's a couple of, hold on one second. I had the thing, and of course I don't, Oh my goodness, Business Insider. That's what I'm talking about. Help us figure which Obama cabinet member sexy Russian spy Anna Chapman almost seduced. So, Help us figure out which Obama cabinet member sexy Russian spy Anna Chapman almost seduced. Well, this is a fun game. Let's go ahead and... What kind of fun game is this? David Kaplan, if the Russia collusion message falls apart, they are all up. That's pretty much the reality, David. That's the reality of the situation. There are a bunch of insane lunatics, Democrats. David, thank you so much, as always, for your support of this channel. Thank you. David Kaplan. That's all they have. They're going to get completely worked. And I'll be proven right again. Shy. HA, can you play and impersonate Wolf Blitzer and Rand Paul in his interview? All right. Rand Paul. Rand Paul destroys. Destruction. It's a destruction. Shy, you're 100% right. But this is, I have to go ahead and hold on one second. So, of course, when it's Obama, it's not a problem. It's all. So hold on. Rand Paul, Wolf Blitzer. Rand Paul. You know when I realized that it was a cult? I wrote an article. In 2014. I said, I'm a liberal Democrat. I'm going to vote for Rand Paul for president. And everyone was like, how dare you? You're voting for Rand Paul. Because I said if it was an issue of just anti-war issue, rather have Paul than a bloodthirsty former first lady. So, okay, so here.
Right, the president so much that this could have easily been President Obama early in the height of the Cold War, maybe at the lowest ebb when we were in the midst of the Cuban Missile Crisis.
And Homeland Security. Let's get some more on all of this.
So Wolf Blitzer. Heard Wolf Blitzer speak in college in D.C.
Right now joining us, Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky.
Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky.
He's a key member of both the Foreign Relations and Homeland Security Committees. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. Let me get right to the question. Do you believe that President Trump's meeting with Putin made America safer?
Do you believe that an actual meeting with a Cold War adversary that pushed for peace made this country safer? Because everyone knows peace is bad, war is good. So saith Wolf Blitzer.
You know, I think engagement with our adversaries, conversation with our adversaries is a good idea. Even in the height of the Cold War, maybe at the lowest ebb when we were in the midst of the Cuban Missile Crisis, I think it was a good thing that Kennedy had a direct line to Khrushchev. I think it was a good thing that we continued to have ambassadors to Russia, even when we really objected greatly to what was going on, even during Stalin's regime. So I think that it is a good idea to have engagement. And I think that what is lost in this is that I think there's a bit of Trump derangement syndrome. I think there are people who hate the president so much that this could have easily been President Obama early in his first administration setting the reset button and trying to have better relations with Russia. And I think it's lost on people that they are a nuclear power. They have influence in Syria.
That's also, it's also the issue. I think they have more nuclear warheads than we do. And it's like, and the Democrats like, bring it on, bring it on. Are you on the left or what? What are you? What are you people? We're neocon social justice warriors.
Yeah, they're in close proximity to our troops in Syria. They are close to the peninsula of North Korea, and they may have some influence that could help us there. The other thing that's lost, and people forget this completely, the Russians tried to help us stop the Boston Marathon bombing. We actually did help them stop a terrorist attack in St. Petersburg because we were communicating and exchanging.
Meanwhile, Wolf is like, I don't care about the saving of lives.
Information. All those things are good. Senator, because people hate Trump so much, all of that's being lost.
It's not a matter of hating President Trump. It's a matter of what he did today, what he said today. Met with President Putin, as you know, for more than 2 hours.
It's a matter of what he did today and what he said today regarding not getting Putin in the DDT hold, Jake the Snake's DDT hold. We were expecting punching Putin in the face. We did not get that.
Unlike other presidents, especially on foreign soil, he blamed the United States for the bad relations.
No, he didn't, Wolf. He didn't blame the United States. Enough with the jingoism and the nationalism. Everything they attack Trump for. There's this pseudo passive aggressive, liberal, sad, pathetic, tired, kind of vapid, hollow reverence of the intelligence community. What have they been right on? The Gulf of Tonkin, WMD, Arab Spring, 9/11. Tell me what they've been right on. Gary Webb exposing them for funneling money through cocaine sales in the inner cities. Oh, what a fantastic, wonderful. It's like Jiminy Glick. Wonderful intelligence community. Wonderful.
With Russia, he declined to back his own intelligence community.
He declined to back his own intelligence community? Or did he decline to back Comey and Brennan and Clapper? Because they're the morons who used the Steele dossier. Sorry, Wolfie. Wrong as always.
Assessment. He declined to.
An assessment? He didn't agree with a high confidence to moderate confidence assessment? Oh my God. But are they certain? Well, no, they're not, but they assessed. Well, shut up. You know what? Shut up.
We're at the U.S. law enforcement community, including the Justice Department. He continues, Senator, he continues to call, hold on a second, he continues to call the news media a free press in the United States.
The free press. The free press. Nothing free about the press. The free press doesn't talk about, oh, I don't know, doesn't talk about a whole bunch of issues, but there was a complete and utter blackout when Bernie was running. And they didn't give Bernie the same attention. The free press said that only Clinton could win, that Trump was a madman. The free press is almost in unison. Almost as if they got a memo or a letter or, I don't know, some kind of financial incentive. The free press is always hating on either Bernie before, hating on Trump, saying he's going to be this scourge to humanity, and now hating on him and saying that, oh, Russia influenced the election without any evidence at all. Wes Kata, been away on vacation for a week, just heard about the release memo. Wes, thank you, Wes. Thank you. So, thank you, Wes. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things. Thank you. Let's just continue with this.
The enemy of the American people. He says the European
Union.
So Wolf Blitzer is just, oh my God. He's just, and that's what also people don't realize. Trump will continue to win. Republicans will continue to win until Democrats realize that their stupid, sorry, tired propaganda spins are reviled. People want peace. They don't care. They don't view the DNC, alleged DNC hack, which wasn't a hack. They don't view that as a threat to humanity. They actually view what Julian Assange and WikiLeaks publishes as the truth, which it is. All of them wrote the words. They wrote the words that they're so embarrassed about writing. And to them, it's a threat to humanity.
Any other senator, has any other president in American history done anything like that?
Has any other president in American history done what? Disagreed with a confidence assessment? Well, Lyndon Johnson should have disagreed. Bush should have disagreed. Obama should have disagreed when it came to the NATO bombing of Libya. Tell me where the intelligence community, which isn't a community, it's the chiefs and the heads of the intelligence agencies and 4 or 5 people below them with extraordinary power. That's it. The way intelligence is gathered, it's gathered in a way to justify policies that are already in play and need justification. Bush already knew he wanted to invade Iraq. The WMD was just, you know, look over, like that's just another reason. My goodness.
Perspective. So, for example, when you look at the intelligence community, the most recent leaders of the intelligence community, James Clapper and John Brennan. James Clapper perjured himself.
I'm talking about Dan Coates.
I'm talking about Dan Coates. No, you're not, buddy. You're talking about Clapper and Brennan, both under perjury.
I'm talking the current director of national intelligence who had an issue with state.
So he is. This is not the free press. This is like Hunger Games. First, last. JFK disagreed. Exactly. Exactly. JFK disagreed. So
we can't have much of an interview. If you're going to interrupt me on every question, Wolf, we can't really have an interview.
I just want to be precise.
If you're going to have an
it's
interview,
not Clapper, it's not Brennan, it's Dan Coates and Mike Pompeo.
And Dan Coates and Mike Pompeo, they're running on information derived by James Clapper and James Comey, and they can't say that James Clapper and James Comey are a bunch of morons and buffoons. So for whatever reason, they're saying the moderate confident assessment based on the Steele dossier, which is purchased by Clinton, is accurate. When Clinton eventually gets charged for one of her crimes, pick a crime, any crime, we'll look back at this time period in U.S. history and say, okay, wow, Democrats not only descended and leapt to their demise, they did so with glee. They were happy to just, you know, thrust themselves into the dustbin of history or whatever, this burning dumpster fire. Nobody cares about what they think about Russia. No, there's not one American in the country, even Democrats, who fear Russia or who think that Russia is an enemy, other than for no other reason other than they've been told Russia's an enemy. Obama did nothing when they invaded the Ukraine, and Bush did nothing when they invaded Georgia. Nothing.
Usually better than this, Wolf, at doing an interview. You need to allow the respondent to respond. It does matter who was in charge of the intelligence. It does matter because they started up some of this and ginned up this whole thing that have gone after the president saying he's committed collusion with Russia. No evidence of that, and it continues to go on. Who are the people that started this? James Clapper, who lied to the Senate, said they weren't collecting our information, and yet they were collecting all of our information and housing it in Utah. John Brennan has now accused, let me finish. John Brennan has now accused the president of treason. This is John Brennan, who voted for the Communist Party when he was a young man. John Brennan now thinks he's holier than everybody else, but these people had the power to...
The guy voted for the Communist Party. Hilarious. Withdraw it.
Collect every American's information. And these are the people that I am concerned use their bias against President Trump. And absolutely, I'm with the president on this. The intelligence community was full of biased people, including Peter Strzok, McCabe, and dozens of others.
And so what?
I never pledge of allegiance to the CIA. As a young guy, a young kid, you'd sing Pledge of Allegiance in school. I don't believe you do so now, but you used to. Or in a private school, you would maybe. Even in public schools, years past. You never say, I pledge of allegiance to the CIA, to the NSA, to the FBI. You would say, I pledge of allegiance to the United States of America. No one cares. Even people I joke around with and like my buddies who are, some of my friends don't like Trump. They're like, you believe Putin over the intelligence community? It's like, it's not a matter of believing Putin. If he didn't do something, he didn't do something. It's like a stupid, like, schoolyard. You believe him and not that the intelligence community? It's like, yeah, why would you even trust the intelligence community? They're wrong about everything. They're wrong about everything. And Rand Paul just puts the smackdown on Wolfie Poo.
so what about Mike Pompeo?
What about Mike Pompeo? What about that? What did he say that Trump colluded with Russia? No.
Dan Coates.
What about Mike Pompeo and his thoughts on Benghazi and Clinton? What about Mike Pompeo and his thoughts on the Clinton Foundation?
Who both say there is no doubt that Russia interfered, attacked the United States during the presidential election. Did they vote for communists when they were young?
What I would say is that I don't think anybody doubts that the Russians got involved with leaking email and hacking into email. But there is a question.
That Rand Paul is wrong. I love Rand Paul, but he's wrong on that. Lots of people doubt that, and there's no evidence that they even hacked the DNC. There's zero evidence Russia worked with WikiLeaks because it didn't. Julian Assange should be free. He now risks arrest by the UK. Zero evidence of anything. There's zero evidence of anything. And when they lose, they'll blame Russia again. People will laugh again. And then the whole, well, Dan Coates says it. Yeah. Dan Coates did not say that Trump colluded with Russia. That was James Clapper alluding to that. There is no collusion, first of all. And secondly, Wolf, the whole narrative revolves around, the whole propaganda spin revolves around the DNC cheating Bernie Sanders. People should bring that up.
Question of whether or not the election was legitimate. And all of this is a sideways way for those on the left to try to delegitimize Trump and to say he didn't really win the election. When in reality, the election was really about Hillary Clinton being unfit for office, being a dishonest person who enriched her and her husband, enriched themselves at taxpayer expense and at the expense of receiving money from people like the Sultan of Brunei and Saudi Arabia. So it was really a much more complicated situation. But what's happened is everybody now says, oh, the Russians, the only reason Trump is president is because the Russians. So you can see how he would take that personally. And frankly, I don't think anybody in Kentucky, he got nearly 80% of the vote in the mountains. I don't think anybody was influenced at all by anything to do with the Russians. They didn't like Hillary Clinton because she wanted to kill the coal industry in our state.
But Senator, you know, you and I have known each other for a long time. I've interviewed on many occasions. Let me put up on the screen what Dan Coates, the director of Net.
Yeah, and he puts up on the screen, okay, who cares? You have the intelligence community representing the intelligence community. Who cares? These are people who are not God. They're not only are they not God, they're fallible beyond most. Like, you could probably pick one of those like college football, like lead pipe lock, Michigan State +5. That they'll probably be more accurate than any of the clowns at the CIA or the FBI or NSA. And I'm not talking about the good agents. There are good people. There are actually really good people. I've known former FBI agents that are good people. I'm talking about James Clapper and Comey and Brennan. So what is Christopher Wray going to say, or Dan Coates? Yeah, they're a bunch of morons. They can't do that. That would be bad for morale. They can't do that. So it's like this stupid thing, this reverence, like, see what they said? Shut up. Who cares? Yeah, the free press. What free press? Maggie Haberman in the WikiLeaks emails written by the Clinton campaign themselves said she was a friendly journalist. What's his name? Glenn Thrush, who fell upwards from Politico to New York Times. He is in, and he doubled down. And he's like, no, it's no problem. He gave Podesta an article pre-publication. And he said, yeah, no. And then in the email, he's like, don't tell anyone I'm a hack. So they wrote these emails themselves. And they completely caught with their pants down. Completely caught with their pants down. And what do they do? Instead of saying, oh, well, we should change, it's just, oh, big problem. Look at all these wonderful people. Wonderful, wonderful people.
National Intelligence, a former Republican senator, a former U.S. ambassador to Germany. Russia definitely did try to influence the campaign.
Russia definitely did try to influence the campaign. It's not Russia did influence the campaign. Russia definitely did try to influence the campaign. It is not Russia tried to influence the campaign. And that's, there's no evidence of that. And then Christopher Wray, I have no reason whatsoever to doubt the assessment. Who cares? He's head of the FBI. He's not going to go ahead and by the way, the Office of Professional Responsibility right now is looking at James Comey. Right now.
FBI director, also named by the president. I have no reason whatsoever to doubt the assessment of the intelligence community. Hold on. Mike Pompeo, all of them said exactly the same thing.
But I would put this in perspective, Will. Dov Levine looked at this from the Carnegie Mellon Institute, and he looked at it from 1946 to 2000, and he found 81 times that the U.S. involved themselves and meddled in elections of foreign countries, 36 times that the Soviet Union did. It doesn't make it right, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. Any country that can spy does, and any country that can meddle in foreign elections does. All countries are doing this, but we've elevated this to
I've named first last. I've named my Wi-Fi network Hillary server. Yes, I love that. That's what she actually named her Wi-Fi network. Also, her ingenious surreptitious email name was ClintonEmail.com. Nobody could have, knew that, known how to hack that, or knew that. Nobody would have known that it was her server. Thank you, first last. Thank you.
A higher degree, and we've made this all about the sour grapes of Hillary Clinton losing the election, and it's all about partisan politics now. This is truly the Trump derangement syndrome that motivates all of this.
Senator, I got to disagree with you. And I know Dan Coates disagrees with you as well. I'll read the statement he issued today.
He keeps going back to Dan Coates. You're talking about, let's say, like the head of the post office, the post office did something wrong. And he's not going to say, well, our organization stinks. I'd rather have the post office than the CIA, by the way. They do more for the country. But
after the president's news conference with Putin, listen to this, and then I'll give you a chance to respond. We have been clear in our assessments of Russian meddling in the 2016 election and their ongoing pervasive efforts to undermine our democracy, and we will continue to provide unvarnished and objective intelligence in support of our national security. Go ahead and respond to your former colleague.
What do you want Dan Coates to say? So what? So he's wrong also. He's parroting Clapper. What do you want these people to say? Oh, Russia is no longer an enemy. Don't fund the military-industrial complex. We don't need to worry about Russia. So you can just slash our budget in half. Best part is coming up. Shai, thank you so much. This is great. Thank you. I appreciate you telling me to do this, because it kind of woke me up and I'm ready to rock now. Thank you so much, Shai. So, okay, let's continue.
And I don't disagree with anything that was said there. What I would say is that instead of making this about everything's about Trump and accusing Trump of collusion with the Russians and all this craziness, that's not true. We should try to protect the integrity of our elections. Nobody is talking about protecting the integrity of the elections. How would you protect the integrity of our elections? Make sure they're decentralized. Make sure there's very good controls from the precinct on up. Make sure we're not storing the data in a central area where there aren't checks and balances at the local area. There are a lot of ways to make sure our election is not tampered with. Also, it's important when you say the Russian. Also,
the NSA already, Admiral Michael Rogers, it is Rand Paul. Admiral Michael Rogers stated not one vote was altered in swing states. So what is everyone crying about? When they lose again, everything will come crashing down, because they won't be able to blame Russia. They will not be able to blame anyone but themselves. Then the donors won't give money. Then they'll really change.
They hacked into Hillary Clinton's email and revealed some truths about her that weren't very popular. I agree they did that. But the thing is nobody's alleging that changed so that they got into an electoral system. But that is a danger guarding it.
Warrior Princess, rather be grabbed by than in the. Oh, right. It is on and rocking. Thank you so much, Warrior Princess. Thank you. I'd rather have Trump as opposed to what could have been the equivalent of what you said regarding Clinton. Warrior Princess, you are wonderful. Thank you so very much. That's a very accurate description of what Clinton would have done to all of us.
Against that.
Who do you trust, Senator? The American intelligence community, the American law enforcement community, or Vladimir Putin?
Who do you trust? The American law enforcement community, who found 18 classified emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop, who said that a foreign power siphoned off and hacked into Clinton's server, who also stated that top secret and special access program intelligence was found on Clinton's server. Who do you trust? I trust the evidence, the facts. The facts are there's no evidence. Where's the evidence aside from CrowdStrike? So in this case, it's not about trusting Putin. It's about just trusting the evidence. You can say anything you like. Well, who do you trust? Your family or Putin? It's just stupid. Talk about the free press. This is like Hunger Games.
What I would say is that all power needs to have checks and balances. And I think our intelligence community has way too much power. The fact that Peter Strzok was able to bring incredible bias towards the president to work every day.
Senator, who do you believe? Who do you believe?
That's not the question. The right question that should be asked, Wolf, is should that power be unchecked, or should you have a judicial system that says, you know what?
I understand what you're saying.
You have to have warrants. You have to have checks and balances on intelligence.
But who do you believe? The intelligence community of the United States or Putin?
Putin. Why? First of all, why would he hack into the DNC? To let everyone know that Bernie Sanders was cheated? So just simply say Bernie Sanders was cheated.
I'm not discounting the allegations that the Russians hacked into Hillary Clinton's emails. I'm not discounting that at all.
So why don't you just say you believe in the intelligence community, the law enforcement, you access their
So he's totally short-circuited Wolf's brain. It's like, oh, what? I was Clinton's emails. No, what? Yes, she was hacked. I don't know what's going on here. Just believe us, not Putin.
You accept their assessments and move on. Let me read to you a tweet that Newt Gingrich, the former speaker, just put out, and I'll read it to you right now. President Trump must clarify his statements in Helsinki on our intelligence system and Putin. It is the most serious mistake of his presidency and must be corrected immediately. Do you agree with Gingrich?
No, I think people have gotten over top on this and lost.
So Wolf Blitzer is like, Christopher Bao Citizen Media, thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. Thank you, Christopher Baus. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. Citizens Media. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you so very much. Thank you. So let's continue here.
The big picture. The big picture is that we should be engaged with Russia. We should have conversations with Russia. We have serious conflicts in all various parts of the globe. It would be a mistake not to have open lines of communication with them. And I can tell you what I have told the Russians who are here in the United States when I've conversed with them. Hacking into the election, if they did it, and in all likelihood the evidence looks like they did, it has backfired because it's made relations worse. And so they want to have better relations. There should be a great deal of incentive as time goes on for them not to do it again because it's made relations so much worse.
Rand Paul's wrong on this, though. You shouldn't capitulate and say, oh, yeah, you know, they hacked into it. That's baloney. Thank you again, Christopher. Thank you. That's baloney. That's a bunch of baloney. The evidence is only CrowdStrike. The DNC never gave what the Daily Beast is like, oh, there are over 100 servers, not just one. Yeah, that's even worse. Nobody in the U.S. government saw any, weren't able to look at the servers. I mean, if the U.S. government didn't have to look at the servers, why did they hire CrowdStrike? Aha. The whole point is, oh, CrowdStrike looked at it. Well, why did they hire anyone? Just give a copy. Just give a copy. You don't need CrowdStrike to get a copy of the server. Just give the copy to the U.S. government. Why do they need CrowdStrike to give the copy?
And so my hope is that we will push the issue, and then over time, those incentives will be apparent.
I know there's a little delay. I'm here in Helsinki. You're in Washington, so occasionally it might be awkward. Bottom line, Senator, do you believe that what President Trump did today here in Helsinki was good?
I think it was a great idea and a good idea to meet with the Russians and to have engagement, conversations, and to make sure that we don't accidentally.
So it's okay for Obama to preside over to the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium capacity, uranium to build nuclear weapons, to sell to any regime who wants to build nuclear weapons. He now has a uranium monopoly in the world, in large part because of the 1/5 of U.S. uranium capacity that Putin owns on our soil. And yes, you can export the uranium out. They already exported uranium out into Canada, yellow cake uranium. So all of this is every single thing. Sherry, thank you so very much. Sherry, thank you so very much. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. Thank you, Sherry. Every single thing that they have accused Trump of doing, they have done themselves. Every single thing. Actually, they've done worse. Trump never sold uranium. And tell me again how it's so obvious. Like, people, the whole country is like, what are you? What? You sold uranium and you're worried about the DNC hack? And Bernie is quiet. This is what I can't stand. What kills me. Bernie's quiet during this whole thing.
Stumble into war.
Everybody agrees it's good to have good relations with Russia, to have a dialogue with Russia. But do you believe it was good that the president of the United States threw his intelligence community under the bus and sided with Putin?
Yeah.
The intelligence community has paid $35 billion of taxpayer money. They're fine. And they should be thrown under the bus for WMD and Gulf of Tonkin and the Arab Spring and 9/11 and selling crack and funneling money from the misery of people in the United States of America. Yeah. The intelligence community. Oh, my God. We have to revere people that aren't even elected. And even people who are elected, we don't revere.
I don't see it that way at all, but I do see that many Democrats have come forward and they basically want a confrontation. They suggested that he not meet with Putin.
So, Sherry, thank you so very, very much, Sherry. Shy, follow the yellow cake road. Last 15 seconds of Rand Paul is awesome. Thank you so much, Shy. I'm so glad. I was actually going to stop this, but I'm so glad you introduced or you told me about this. I saw a little of it. I didn't know how great it was. I didn't really pay attention to how it is great. Let's follow this.
So really, the question of to meet or not meet, almost every Democrat in Washington came on your program and other programs and said he shouldn't meet with Putin. That's a kind of sort of, I think, simplistic thinking that leads to war. We should continue to have conversation even with our adversaries, probably most particularly with our adversaries.
I got to tell you, Senator, it's not just Democrats. It's a whole bunch of your fellow Republicans who think it was a mistake, especially now with hindsight. And I also have to tell you, based on everything we're hearing, a lot of his own national security, military, and diplomatic personnel, they also agree this was a huge blunder on the part of the President of the United States to exit from this meeting with Putin the way he did. It's going to cause enormous grief for the President and for his administration. But I'm grateful to you, as usual, for joining us and expressing your views. Thank you very much. Senator Rand Paul, remaining silent in the aftermath of that. Appreciate it very much.
He just drops the mic. Yeah. Mike lapel drop. What's up? It's so no one cares. No one cares. He GOHMERTed Wolf Blitzer. David Kaplan. We can't trust Wolf, the same guy who paraded around 1993 in Saudi Arabia spreading lies for the international community, the intelligence community. Exactly. David Kaplan. Well, exactly. Wolf Blitzer is maybe a shade more reputable, a tiny sliver more reputable than Rachel Maddow. The Agenda. Search William Binney, America Restored. Yeah, I mean, William Binney. So The Agenda. William Binney, Bill Binney basically said there's no, the rise of the American corporate state, there's no evidence that they hacked the DNC. DNC was not hacked by Russia to inform us that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Do you think they cared? Nobody cared. This is so stupid. They're so stupid. They're so incredibly stupid. And they're like, do you know? And even my friends, you trust Putin over the intelligence community? From now on, I'm just gonna say yes. Like they like try to shame me. So and I'm like, that's not even the question. It's a stupid thing to say. Yeah, I trust Putin. What do you want from me? Because actually, when Putin is more trustworthy than the intelligence community, we have problems. And don't like in 2010, we sold them 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. Like the prior 10 years, you have Alexander Litvinenko, you have journalists murdered with links to Putin. So it's like that's how we retaliate for all these crimes. Sam Jage, thank you, Sam. HA, tell these fine people about Booz Allen. Ah, yes. Sam, thank you so very much. Well, Booz Allen Hamilton said it's under federal investigation. Vast U.S. spy operation. That's the New York Times. At Booz Allen, a vast U.S. spy operation run for private profit. So, in the 6 weeks, 2016, in the 6 weeks since federal agents raided a suburban Maryland home of arrested Harold T. Martin on suspicion of stealing classified information from the National Security Agency, another organization was quietly prepared to face the fallout. Booz Allen Hamilton. Booz Allen, a consulting firm that earns billions of dollars for working for the American intelligence agencies, has been called the world's most profitable spy organization. News this week of Mr. Martin's arrest in August could renew scrutiny of the firm's operations. That's just one example. Snowden used to work there also. Edward Snowden. So, thank you, Sam. Alexander M. Gonzalez. Since the only way to get to you knows my question to pay you, then here. Will you work against us when Bernie Sanders makes his announcement? No. Alexander M. Gonzalez, it's not necessarily paying me. It's just I have a hard time seeing I have 600 people and there's, the chat. I'm not always looking at the chat, and I'm actually most of the time not looking at the chat. And also, I mean, look, if people give to the super chat, I want to, hook them up. But I am not going. Will you work against us when Bernie Sanders makes his announcement? Bernie is never going to win. They'll never let him win. They'll never let him run. Well, they'll never let him win. If he runs, I'm not going to back him, especially because of everything that's taken place. He was silent regarding him being his $200 million, voters being cheated of $200 million, his voters being cheated. Now he's pushing the Russia insanity. Every day I'm kind of moving away from Bernie. I am going to vote Alexander M. Gonzalez. I am going to vote Trump 2020. If Julian Assange is, God forbid, extradited to the U.S., I will not vote for Trump. There's a slight chance if I have hope that Trump's going to pardon Assange, then maybe I would still. But that's the only thing. The only two ways I wouldn't vote for Trump is if he gets us into a quagmire, a war, a counterinsurgency war, where, like, for example, half to 2/3 of all the Americans killed and wounded in Iraq and Afghanistan were the victims of IED blasts. So I don't want to. If he gets us into a war, like destroys Libya or a quagmire, if he doubles down in Syria and sends more and more troops and we get into this horrible counterinsurgency war, no, I won't vote for Trump. And Julian Assange extradited to the United States, I can't see myself voting for Trump. Other than that, I'll vote for Trump 2020. And what can I tell you? Alexander M. Gonzalez, I want Republicans to win the House, the Senate. I want Trump to win in 2020. And there to be a purge, an absolute purge of the most corrupt, evil political organization, the Democratic Party. So I appreciate you asking the question. And the Bernie Alexander, the Bernie that I knew is not the Bernie that I thought I knew. Alexander M. Gonzalez is not the Bernie Sanders who is. Sometimes you think you know people and then they change. That happens in life. Maybe he was never who I thought he was. Sounds like I had this relationship with Bernie. But I don't know. It's like he, at that moment in time, he did bring out, he was something special for that moment. Whether he was never that person or whether he was that person and then beaten down, I have no idea. Why am I against Julian coming to the U.S.? Because I do not believe, I don't believe that, and I don't know if this is like Q inspired or, because I'm not into Q at all. I have no idea why people would think that, this would help Julian Assange to be in a U.S. prison and to have, right now there is a secret grand jury because they can't charge him with anything overtly. He didn't do anything. You don't even need hard evidence. In a secret grand jury, you could just say, well, here's classified info and, it's a military tribunal. And, he's not, Julian Assange should never be in the situation he's in. He should be free. But the thing is, if he goes to the U.S. prison system, the courts, he'll never get a fair trial and he'll get railroaded, I think. Now, if Trump pardons him, that's a different thing. If Trump pardons him, like I wrote in 2016, some guy yesterday, some guy's like, a Daily Caller. Why? What happened? And then and I'm not even gonna say the name. It's like this, neo-Nazi website. What, they're not hiring? I'm like, what? And I just blocked the guy. Usually, like ordinarily, I'd be like, can I get into it? But I'm like, I don't have time for these insane people on the left. They're like so out there. They don't even realize how out there they are. But Shai, thank you so very much this evening for everything. And no, I mean, it would be a really bad thing for Assange to be extradited here because you would literally have the most deranged, sick people being so happy. Yeah, send them to the chair, God forbid. Send them there. I mean, because people who voted for Hillary, it's a cult now. That's why Sessions better hurry it up. I don't know what Sessions was doing, but he has to hurry it up. And pick a crime, any crime. Pick a crime, any crime. That's the thing. I mean, Hillary will be charged. It's a matter of when. Sooner rather than later is better for the country. We are experiencing all of this because Comey didn't do his job. Because Clapper and Comey and Brennan, all of them, especially Brennan and especially Comey, and especially Strzok, were all in on this cover-up and then charade. And now they're doubling down as if we don't know there's no evidence. There's no evidence of anything. Shai, absolutely agree. Julian Assange will only come to the U.S. if he's pardoned, and I hope, I pray that he'll be pardoned very, very soon. Shai, you're 100% right. Sam, who owns Booz Allen? Oh, is that the Carlyle Group? Check out their investment page. Well, then the Carlyle Group, they're all shady. It's all like, the whole Smedley Butler war is a racket thing. Carlyle Group, alternative asset. Okay. Booz Allen Hamilton. Carlyle to sell remaining stake in Booz Allen Hamilton. Carla continues to shed stake with Booz Allen Hamilton. Carla Group has made $2 billion off Booz Allen 2003. So yeah, it's all shady. Yeah, all of this is a bunch of nonsense. And Sam, you're 100% right in bringing up all of that. Shy, thank you so very much. Thank you for everything. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening. 566 people, and it ain't bad for the middle of the night. Not bad at all for 2 or 3 in the morning, depending on your time zone. And I want to thank you all. God bless you all. This has been a really pretty awesome chat. Very lively, very thought-provoking. And I will see you tomorrow. Sleep well. Thank you so much for just a really, wonderful live chat and a live stream. See you tomorrow. Hit subscribe if you're just new to this channel. Tell people about this live stream. It's pound for pound the best live stream, in my view, on YouTube. God bless all of you. Thank you. I will see you tomorrow. To my super chat, thank you so very, very